This daf Yerushalmi Shevi'is in the article Oz V'Hod edition, where daf Nun Vav Amud Aleph, and the first two dots, which is 6 line down. That's the header, and that is without the header in the Bavli Vilna daf Yutes Amud Beis. Tani, the second line. And the end of the line is tiny. Okay, there's going on in the Mishnah. The Mishnah says that lo yel gokech yirakos sadeh. He should not take yirakos of the field, which are not also on account of svichim, because yirakos sadeh, and sell them in the marketplace. But you can sell them, you can gather them, and your son can sell for you. And that was your friend as well. The Gemara is going to say, and okay, so let's see the Gemara. Let's see the Gemara inside about that. So it says Gemara, Tani lo yechamisha malaktin yerek ve'echad mocher. You shouldn't have 5 people gathering the vegetables and 1 person selling them, because that is even the 5 people. There's 6 shutim. The 5 people gathering, 1 person selling. It obviously, since they're shutim, it looks like schleira, and it's no good. It is schleira. Avo mocher u'shalo v'shal chavero. But when they're not shutim, you can sell yours and your friends. So it's only the shutfos that makes it look like it's a commercial concern. Otherwise, it's okay. Chamisha achim malaktim. On the other hand, 5 brothers, even who are not shutfim, they are malaktim. They can gather, but echad mocher yedem, and one can sell on their behalf, presumably even another brother, and it's not considered to be mechsei geschera because they're brothers and not partners. Amar Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Bun uvad shelo yasu fliter. They shouldn't be. It's in the. That's in the Gemara. It says palter in the Kavanaki. Mao shelo yasu palter, and it goes on to say, what does it mean shelo yasu palter? That doesn't say that in the Kavanaki, but that says Kavanaki, doesn't say in the regular Gemara. What does it mean? Shelo yasu palter. Shelo yem zabin behu asa b'chol shah. He shouldn't be in the Vilna. It says also shleim zabin ba b'chol shah. Well, b'chol, no, it says shana in the Vilna, but that probably also should be shah. It should be shah, just like in the Kavanaki, and it's also has shana, but probably should be shah as well. In other words, you shouldn't sell it all the time. You shouldn't be kavua, make like a stall in that place, because that is like a palter, like a bakery, and that looks much more like schleira. The Kavanaki says palter in this case doesn't mean like a baker, but rather it's from the language of platia, which is a plaza, a marketplace in Greek, and the reish here is a reish umnus, kmo sandlar. That term before, reish umnus, the reish which connotes a job, like sandlar and lavlar and so on and so forth. So that is, so you shouldn't become like a palter. And some say he shouldn't say sell. And again, here there's a little change of gear. So it says East boy Meimar Shoyim Mazbin Behu B'chol Shah. The Kavanaki takes out the Behu, and there's another change here. I didn't realize it. The way the Kavanaki changes it is different than the way Shatar Yisrael changes it. But it comes out the same thing. The way the Kavanaki changes it is first it says Shloyem Zabin Bahu Asa B'chol Shah B'Smamei Shloyem Mazbin B'chol Shah. Shouldn't stay on that place all the time. It says you shouldn't be permanently They sell all the time, even if it's not the same place. The way Shaitosol does it, he follows much more the lines of the Gemara. Shleim Masbin Ba B'chol Shah. Again, they changing that Shana to Shah. And he's by the man Shleim Masbin, and here he puts in the words Bahu Asar B'chol Shah. So here the order is reversed, but it's the same principle. Okay, according to the Girsa of Shana, the even according to Shana, the way Pei Moshe explains also comes out to be the same thing as Shah. Okay, the Tanya. You have a storekeeper who's selling cooked vegetables during Shemitah, and they were cooked in oil and wine, which is not Shemitah produce. He can't get paid for the fruit and vegetables which were Shvi'is. But he can charge for the wine, for the oil, and for the labor. Avtola literally means schar batola, but because we don't make it's not full labor charge, what he would have taken to add to be a bato, without getting into the complications of how we reckon that, which is appears throughout Shas, between schar batola and schar, but he can take something for the labor. Rabbi Elam he was used to here it says in the Vilna Rabbi Elam, same person. He would tell the Chaltaraya people who sold wheat, which were first dropped in boiling water and then fried in oil, and the oil was Shemitah. And the chitim from Chutzlaretz or from the year before, lo to have the opposite, basically the same idea, but in the opposite direction. Lo to have mechashvin agrechon amishka el al chitaya. You should not charge for the oil, which is a shemitah, but for the chitim, the wheat, which is from before Shemitah or from Chutzlaretz. Says the next part of the Mishnah. Laga b'char the Mishnah, but no regal below tzarich. You took a b'char for your son's Mishnah or the regal. You don't need it. Mutar mochi allowed to sell it, even though you're not allowed to sell b'char l'chadchila. Same with ofos tzarich chayv ofos v'dogim that they got minei tmeim. They're allowed to sell them. Once they got them, they shouldn't do it l'chadchila. Rabbi Yehuda says even somebody who finds something l'fi darko, in other words, he finds along the way something which is treif, etc. He can sell it. As long as that's not his umnus, that's not his main livelihood. And Chachamim asked even that. So the Gemara says Talmud Tanina. Maybe the Amos of Zanche Elominus Elohu. The Al-Kavanaki adds a whole thing here. From the beginning, I guess from the beginning of the Mishnah in Sanhedrin. It's Rabbi Shimon Omer, and this is what he adds. Rabbi Shimon Omer, B'tchil lo yakurason el osvei shvi'is. Initially they called the people who gathered fruit during Shemitah osvei shvi'is, and they were apostolators because they're making money of Shemitah. And then Mishra Nasi, when people compelled them to work, closely across themselves in Shvi'is, and they began to ask not the people who gathered during Shemitah, but only people who then made schora during Shemitah. And then on that, they're apostolators. So initially the osvei shvi'is also apostolators, and Mishra Nasi only the sochei shvi'is apostolators. And that on Rabbi Yehuda Amos Zan she'en lo umnus ela hui. So the apostolators, if that's his sole livelihood. He has another livelihood, Harei kosher, it's okay. And that's very similar to what the Rabbi Yehuda says about Masachet Bekubya. And the other psulia is because of gambling, it's only when that's their umnus, that the pasay is not a count, not when this is a sideline which they possess. The okay, so the Gemara goes on and says, but how do we define this? Hey Chabira, the guy who was sitting and not doing any malacha the rest of the Shemitah cycle, and when Shemitah came, he started extending his hand because there's lucrative business to be done in this black market. When Bear started trading, doing commerce with the fruit of Avera, meaning things which has Gusha Shevi'is, or Svichim, whatever. If he has another malacha, which is doing the same time, during the Shemitah year is kosher, because he has no livelihood. Be lavin, if not, he's puzzled. But this, if he was involved in his malacha, he had work the rest of the 6 years. And during Shemitah, he switched gears to do work with Peros Avera. So then, any more malacha is kosher. Even though he doesn't have another malacha, to combine with that, he's kosher, because the other 6 years he's doing something else. So the Kavanaki says that gives one svara from the Rasvilio that he's not doing it in order to make money, but because he doesn't, he needs to work. He doesn't want to sit butter. So presumably during the rest of the years he's doing the same thing, perhaps, and he doesn't want to do. He's nice and nice in the malacha of selling produce the rest of the 6 years. Shemitah comes along and he doesn't want to go idle, so he does it even though he's not doing anything else besides that. So and that, according to that, the Kavanaki says evidently it's about somebody whose normal malacha can't be done during Shemitah, either because it's selling produce or something else which can't be done during Shemitah. The Ridbaz says, actually not yet. Okay, let's go further. Rabbi Abba Bar Zavda, Abba B'Shem Rabbi Elazar, Halacha Rabbi Yehuda de Masnisa. Halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda in the Mishnah. That this of Sochei Shvi'is, according to the interpretation of this brisa. In other words, if he has another umnus, he's okay. Iklis Rabbi Abba Bar Zavda de Amar Shmuel Mishum Zermine. So Rabbi Abba Bar Zavda prayed. He was praised and counts on another because he said something named Rabbi Avo, who was younger than he was. Okay, kind of like a side point here. Rabbi Chia Tani l'Chumra. So here it says in our Kavanaki it says Rabbi Chia. In the Vilna it says, and I assume the article as well, it says Tiny Rabbi Huda. I'm not sure why it was changed. It also says in the article Tiny Rabbi Huda. Tiny Rabbi Huda l'Chumra. Here, Rabbi Huda, whoever it was. Hey Chavira, how so? He learned l'Chumra. He was involved in his work all the 6 years. B'shvi sisam mavshi, that's yod of lisa v'lite meperes avera. In the Shemitah, he started dealing with the fruit of avera. In yeshmo malacha acheres kosher. So even though he was involved in his work the rest of the years, which according to the first opinion, then during Shemitah he's not rendered apostle. Even though it is exclusively by Peres Shvi'is. According to this Mahalach, even if he's involved in Malach the rest of the years, in Shemitah, if he starts being involved exclusively in Peres Avera, no good. Only in Yeshua Malach Acheres Kosher. It'll be not possible. Avol. But if he didn't do work the rest of the 6 years, and then Shmita came, he seized on the opportunity and started dealing with Peres Avera, Av Al Pi Sheyesh Sheyeshim Malacha Acheres Pasul. Even though he has another Malacha, he's still Pasul. Okay, so again, this is more chomer than before, because before we said that as long as there's a Malacha, even if he doesn't work the other 6 years, he's okay. And here he's saying, no, if it doesn't work the other 6 years, then even if he does have another Malacha during Shemitah, he's still Pasul Leidus. Okay, so says Gemara, Rabbi Lo B'da Rabbi Abba Zavda Rabbi Avo B'Shem Elazar Halach Rabbi Yehuda Masnisa. It sounds, although the Kamraki seems to say differently, he says this is not the case in which Rabbi Abba Zavda said and the name Rabbi Avo, the name Rabbi Elazar Halach Rabbi Yehuda the Masnisin. Only going to the first shot, not going to the first shot, second shot. And the Ridbaz Taka says, Lo b'da perish lo b'zel look Rabbi Yehuda, elok Rabbi Yehuda Masnisin l'kula. L'fum kain tzarich lomar. This is why it should read. Rabbi Zav Shem Lazar Shem Avo elok Rabbi Yehuda Masnisin l'kula. L'fuke miha the Rav according to the arts, according to the Kabbalah Gears, Rabbi Chia, and he changed actually the gears going further. But let's see what you have here. Tam Rabbi Abba Zavda Hamar Shul B'Shum Hamar Shul B'Shem Zermine. Previously we said that Abba Zavda says Shum Hashem Zermine. So the same as somebody who was younger than him. Avchacha Kain, here too, it's also the same thing. So the Rabbi is, I'm not sure why I might have to put that in. I think the Ridbaz takes it out because it seems to be superfluous. Because he goes immediately on to the next thing. Rabbi Yosef Rabun Taman Ena Malchus Oneses Ramhacha Malchus Oneses. So Rabbi Yosef Rabun, according to Kavanaki, says that the difference in Perush and Mishnayos, he says the difference in explaining Mishnayos L'Kula L'Chumra based on Ones Malchus, what the Malchus making it do. So you could say that the Brisa which L'Chumra is talking about is Man She'ena Malchus Oneses. Like we said before, that they weren't when they started Oines, so the people were allowed to be Osei B'Shvi'is, even though they were allowed to be Socha B'Shvi'is. And the one which is Meiko is talking about the time when the Malchus is Oneses. And therefore they were very dochok in their parnasa during Shemitah, so therefore we had no choice but to give a lenient interpretation. So it's fascinating. And there's a little bit of Derech L'Yusha, so Derech L'Yushalmi, that the Mishnah is subject to drasha. We can darshan the Mishnah, and we can say, since the Mishnah can be learned in two ways, at one point it's appropriate to learn it one way, and another point in history, because of Malchus and Esses, not Malchus and Esses, appropriate to learn it the other way. And the Yerushalmi's Malchus is that as long as something can be fit into the lush in the Mishnah, we don't necessarily have to understand that that's what the Mishnah originally meant. It's like the Mishnah's text is the text of the Torah Shebiksav. And we have to configure our views to be aligned with that. But we don't necessarily have to be machaving to the pshat which they had in mind when they wrote when they wrote the Mishnah. And that's why the pshat, and since both perushim are possible, we can say, well, one's when it's managed malchus oneses, and one's the time when ain't malchus oneses. And that would be very and that works. The Ridbaz has here. He says differently. He says, "V'shal avchacha kain perish of gaza b'shno selio mashal shol im gam b'masnisin dinan halacha Rabbi Yehuda lo is halacha Rabbi Yehuda an armish or not? Al zeh mar taman ein malchus oneses." He says no. Perish masnisin didan Eina Malchus Onesis. In our Mishnah, the Malchus is not compelling, and therefore the Mishnah, our Mishnah is not like Rabbi Yehuda. But Hacha Malchus Onesis, but Malchus Malchus Onesis. When we see done, Pesha Masech Sanhedrin, Ha Malchus Onesis. There, Malchus Onesis, and therefore there, the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda. So here, what Rabbi Yehuda says that he's allowed to be allowed to do this work if it's Nizdam L'Yado. That's talking about a case where Ein Malchus Onesis, and therefore don't pass on Rabbi Yehuda. But there in Sanhedrin, it was a case where Malchus Onesis, and therefore in terms of that Psul Eidus, we pass on there like Yehuda, as long as he has Umnus Acheres, he's okay. And the Rebaz gives another shot, but I think that's already sufficient for us. For this, as long as we saw the Kavanaki and the Rebaz, we're okay. The first one shot in the Rebaz, we're okay. So now we are up to the Mishnah on Nun Zayin and we'll stop here for today.